Being alone deep into the woods can be a pretty scary thing. Bears, bobcats, and wolves are all apex predators that you never want to run into in the forest. But the real treeline terror is one I don't think you'll find in most wilderness survival guides: the North American ape man known as Bigfoot. Whether you're an experienced outdoorsman or woman, or more of an indoor cat, here are a few signs that you might be on a Sasquatch turf and that it might be time to hit the road. Well, Bigfoot had to get his name from somewhere, so let's talk about one of the clearest signs of Bigfoot, short of actually seeing one: the footprints. Sasquatch tracks are pretty easy to identify. They're typically five-toed, assuming no injuries or mutations, and far too large to come from any humans. Bear hind tracks do have a resemblance to Bigfoot prints, but their forepaws are a dead giveaway that the animal making them moved on four legs and not two. Fresh prints will have sharper, more defined edges, which will give you some indication of how close their progenitor is. The next thing I want to talk about are the tree structures that Bigfoot will create. So as you can see, these are tree structures that people find in the woods. They're made out of trunks, and they don't really seem to function as shelter for humans, and would be pretty much impossible for any other animal to create. Trees being bent backwards are also found, which requires far more strength than any animal possesses, and even the others that do wouldn't really be able to achieve the task anyway. Why Bigfoot creates these structures and bends trees backwards is up for speculation. Personally, I think they serve as something of a territory marker for the Sasquatch and its clans, and the bent back trees are to indicate, well, if you want to take this land, this is what you got to deal with. Bigfoot presence is sudden, total silence from the animals in the surrounding area. Whether you realize it or not, when you're out deep in nature, there's pretty much always some undercurrent of noise, and when the noise stops out of nowhere, it can be pretty jarring, with even the crickets going dead quiet. Typically, this is in response to a predator. Animals very clearly don't want to be found, so they will make no noise in order to hide themselves better. Depending on whether or not the Bigfoot is worried about being detected, this may allow you to better hear their footsteps thundering through the underbrush. On the other end of the noise and volume spectrum are the loud calls that Bigfoot will make. Whether these are done to communicate to other Sasquatches or to scare off any other animals in the area is yet unknown. If you search online, you can find some of these vocalizations pretty easily, and from the noise being made, you can tell whatever's making them has one massive set of lungs. The last two signs of a Bigfoot being in the area are tree knocks and thrown rocks. Tree knocks are pretty self-explanatory. These creatures will knock against trees, either to indicate their presence or as some form of communication similar to Morse code. However, tree knocks are no longer a definite sign that a Sasquatch is around, as a decent number come from people looking to draw out the beast. The last sign of Bigfoot activity would be thrown rocks. Now, when I say rocks, I'm not talking about your typical fist-sized stone. I'm talking about them tossing around boulders in excess of 30 pounds, like they're quarterbacks. Typically, giant rocks being thrown at your body are a subtle but firm indicator that the Sasquatch in fact wants you to leave the area and not stay. So now you know a few ways to identify whether or not your area has had Bigfoot activity recently, short of seeing one for yourself. So next time you're out in the woods, keep your eyes and ears peeled, but keep your legs ready to go.